Mom ruined my sister's wedding by sabotaging the venue and spreading lies. So I exposed her past secrets and ruined her life. Hello everyone, I need to share this insane story about my sister Melissa's wedding and our mom, Carol. I am Raymond, 30 male, and Melissa is 28 female. Melissa recently got married to Tyler, 29 male. From the moment Melissa introduced Tyler to our family, especially to Mom, things were tense. Mom, Carol, 55 female, never liked Tyler. She found fault with everything about him from his job as a software engineer to his family background. According to Mom, Tyler wasn't good enough for Melissa. She wanted Melissa to marry someone richer, someone more established in her eyes. Melissa, being the sweet and somewhat people-pleasing person she is, tried to make Mom happy, but it was impossible. The wedding planning process was a complete nightmare. Every decision Melissa and Tyler made, Mom had to criticize it. The venue was not classy enough, the flowers were too cheap, the guest list was too long. You name it, Mom complained about it. I tried to stay out of it as much as possible, but it was hard to watch Melissa get so stressed and upset. Tyler, bless his heart, was incredibly patient and understanding throughout. He kept telling Melissa that they should focus on their happiness and not let Mom's negativity ruin their special day. But Mom's negativity was like a dark cloud hanging over everything. Did I mention that Mom is a master manipulator? She knows exactly how to push people's buttons and make them feel guilty. She would constantly remind Melissa how much she had sacrificed for her, and how Melissa was now betraying her by marrying someone she didn't approve of. It was emotionally exhausting for everyone involved. The week leading up to the wedding was particularly bad. Mom kept making snide remarks about Tyler to Melissa, trying to plant seeds of doubt in her mind. She even tried to convince Melissa to postpone the wedding, saying things like, "Are you sure you are making the right decision? You still have time to back out." It was infuriating to witness. I knew Mom was being completely unreasonable and selfish, but Melissa was torn. She loves Mom, despite everything, and wanted her approval. But Tyler was the man she loved and wanted to marry. The day of the wedding arrived, and despite all the drama, Melissa looked absolutely beautiful. She was radiant in her white dress, and Tyler looked incredibly handsome waiting for her at the altar. The ceremony started smoothly. Everything seemed to be going well despite the undercurrent of tension because of Mom's presence. But then, during the vows, things started to go wrong. First, the microphone malfunctioned. It cut out just as Melissa was about to say her vows. Everyone was a bit confused, and the sound guy rushed to fix it. Then, as Tyler was reading his vows, the music suddenly changed. Instead of the soft, romantic background music they had chosen, some loud, jarring rock music started playing. It was completely inappropriate and disruptive. Everyone turned around, looking confused and annoyed. The music was quickly turned off, but the damage was done. The atmosphere felt a bit awkward and disrupted. Melissa looked visibly flustered and upset. After the ceremony, during the cocktail hour, things got even worse. The caterers announced that there was some sort of issue with the food. Apparently, there had been a power outage in the kitchen, and some of the food had spoiled. They said they were working on a backup plan, but there would be a delay in serving dinner. This was a major setback. People were hungry and getting impatient. Melissa was on the verge of tears. She kept apologizing to Tyler and their guests, feeling responsible for everything that was going wrong. Mom, of course, was hovering around, looking smug and saying things like, "I told you this venue was not reliable. You should have listened to me. I was starting to get suspicious." All these incidents seemed too coincidental. The microphone malfunction, the music mishap, the food issue, it was all happening one after another. It felt like someone was deliberately trying to sabotage the wedding. And then it hit me. It had to be Mom. She was the only one who had a motive to ruin the wedding. She had been so vehemently against Melissa marrying Tyler, and she was clearly enjoying all the chaos and mishaps. I decided to confront her. I pulled her aside, away from the guests, and asked her point blank, "Mom, are you behind all this? Are you trying to sabotage Melissa's wedding?" She looked at me, feigning innocence, and said, "Raymond, how can you even accuse me of such a thing? I am your mother. I would never do anything to hurt Melissa." "Oh, please," I replied, "don't give me that. I have seen how you have been acting. You have been nothing but negative and critical since day one. And now all these things are happening, and you expect me to believe it's just a coincidence." She scoffed and said, "Well, maybe if Melissa had listened to me and chosen a better venue and better vendors, none of this would have happened." See, she was not even denying it. She was blaming Melissa for the problems she herself had likely caused. I was furious. I said, "Mom, I know it's you. And I am not going to let you ruin Melissa's wedding. I am going to find out what you have done, and I am going to expose you." She just laughed and walked away, dismissing me as if I was being paranoid. But I was determined to find out the truth. I started asking around, talking to the venue staff, the caterers, the DJ. And then I found something. One of the venue managers mentioned that there had been a strange phone call earlier that day. Someone had called, pretending to be from the wedding party, and canceled the backup generator for the venue. Apparently, they had claimed that the generator was no longer needed and to cancel the rental. This was why the kitchen had lost power and the food had spoiled. The venue manager had thought it was a bit odd, but they had just followed instructions. I asked if they had the phone number of the person who had made the call. They checked their records and gave me a number. I immediately recognized the number. It was Mom's. I had proof. She had deliberately sabotaged the wedding venue. I then talked to the DJ. He admitted that he had received a text message earlier, instructing him to change the music during the vows. The text message had come from an unknown number, but he had just assumed it was a request from someone in the wedding party. He showed me the text message. It was from a burner phone, but I had a strong feeling it was also connected to Mom. I went back to Melissa and Tyler and told them what I had discovered. Melissa was in disbelief at first. She couldn't imagine Mom would do something so malicious. But Tyler, who had always been wary of Mom, was not surprised. He said, "Melissa, I have told you from the beginning that your mother is not a good person. She is manipulative and controlling. This is just further proof of that. We decided to confront Mom together. We found her chatting with some guests, looking perfectly content as if nothing was wrong." Melissa walked up to her and said, "Mom, we need to talk." We went to a quieter room away from the guests. Melissa started, "Mom, Raymond and I know what you did. We know you sabotaged the wedding. We know you canceled the generator and changed the music." Mom's face turned pale. She tried to deny it at first, but we presented her with the evidence, the phone number, the DJ's text message. She realized she couldn't lie her way out of it. She finally admitted it. But instead of apologizing, she tried to justify her actions. She said, "I did it because I love you, Melissa. I didn't want you to make a mistake. Tyler is not good for you. I was just trying to protect you." "Protect me?" Melissa exclaimed. "Mom, you tried to ruin my wedding. You embarrassed me in front of all my friends and family. How is that protecting me?" Mom started to cry, playing the victim card. She said, "I am your mother. I only want what's best for you. You are being so ungrateful." Melissa had finally had enough. She stood up tall and said, "Mom, I am done. I am done with your manipulation and your negativity. You are supposed to be my mother, but you are acting like my worst enemy. I want you to leave." "Leave?" Mom said, shocked. "This is my daughter's wedding. I am the mother of the bride. You can't ask me to leave." "Yes, I can," Melissa said firmly. "This is my wedding and I want you to leave. Now." Mom refused to leave at first. She started making a scene, crying and yelling, but Melissa was resolute. She called security and they escorted Mom out of the venue. It was a dramatic and upsetting scene, but it had to be done. As Mom was being led away, she glared at me and Melissa and said, "You will regret this. You will both regret turning against me." "Good riddance," I muttered under my breath. After Mom was gone, the atmosphere at the wedding immediately lifted. It was like a weight had been removed from everyone's shoulders. The caterers managed to salvage some of the food, and dinner was served, albeit a bit late. The DJ apologized for the music mishap and played the right music for the rest of the evening. Melissa and Tyler, despite everything, managed to enjoy their wedding day. They were surrounded by people who loved and supported them, and that's what truly mattered. But I was still seething with anger towards Mom. She had not only tried to ruin Melissa's wedding, but she had also tried to make Melissa doubt her own choices and happiness. I knew I couldn't just let this go. Mom had always been controlling and manipulative, but this was a new low even for her. I decided to dig into Mom's past. I knew there were things she had kept hidden from us. She always talked about her perfect life and perfect family, but I suspected there were skeletons in her closet. I started by talking to some of Mom's old friends and acquaintances. It wasn't easy. People were hesitant to talk about Mom behind her back, but I persisted, and eventually I found someone who was willing to share some information. It turned out that Mom's perfect image was a complete facade. She had a history of being dishonest and manipulative in her personal and professional life. Apparently, years ago, She had been involved in some shady business dealings and had even been accused of fraud. She had managed to avoid any legal consequences, but her reputation had been tarnished. And there was more. I also found out about a past relationship Mom had had before she met our dad. It was a serious relationship, and she had been engaged to another man. But she had broken off the engagement and left him heartbroken. And the reason she had broken up with him was not because she had fallen out of love, but because she had found someone richer and more successful. She had dumped her fiancé for someone she considered to be a better catch. This was shocking to me. I had always thought of Mom as this morally upright person, but it turned out she was far from it. She was selfish, opportunistic, and completely ruthless when it came to getting what she wanted. I gathered all the information I had found and compiled it into a document. I included details about her past business dealings, her broken engagement, and her manipulative behavior towards Melissa and me over the years. I decided to send this document to all of Mom's friends, family members, and business associates. I wanted to expose her for who she really was. I knew this would have serious consequences for her. Her reputation would be ruined, her social circle would shrink, and her perfect image would be shattered. But I felt she deserved it. She had caused so much pain and suffering to Melissa and me, and she had shown no remorse for her actions. I sent out the document anonymously, using a burner email address. I didn't want Mom to know it was me right away. The reaction was immediate and dramatic. People were shocked and appalled by the revelations in the document. Mom's friends and family members started to distance themselves from her. Her business associates started to question her integrity. Her perfect world began to crumble around her. Mom was devastated. She couldn't understand why everyone was turning against her. She had always been so careful to maintain her image, and now it was all falling apart. She eventually figured out that I was behind it. She called me furious and accusatory. "Raymond, how could you do this to me?" She screamed. "I am your mother." I replied calmly, "Mom, you ruined Melissa's wedding. You tried to sabotage her happiness. And you have been manipulative and controlling for years. I am done with your lies and your games. You deserve everything that is happening to you." She started crying and pleading, begging me to stop. She promised to change, to be a better mother, to apologize to Melissa and Tyler. But I didn't believe her. It was too late for apologies. She had crossed a line and there was no going back. I hung up on her and blocked her number. Melissa and Tyler were incredibly supportive of my actions. They were grateful that I had stood up to Mom and exposed her true colors. Melissa said, "Raymond, I know Mom is still our mother, but she has been toxic for too long. We needed to break free from her control. You did the right thing." It has been a few months since the wedding and the fallout with Mom. Things have been much more peaceful and calm in our lives without her constant drama and negativity. Melissa and Tyler are happily married and enjoying their new life together. I'm also doing much better, knowing that I stood up for myself and my sister and that I didn't let Mom get away with her manipulative behavior. Mom is now living a very different life. She has lost many of her friends and social connections. Her business is suffering. She is isolated and alone. Some people might say I went too far in exposing her past. They might say that family should stick together no matter what. But I disagree. Sometimes you have to cut toxic people out of your life, even if they are family. And sometimes you have to fight back against bullies and manipulators, even if it means exposing their secrets and ruining their reputation. Mom brought this upon herself. She made her choices, and she has to live with the consequences. I have no regrets about what I did. I feel like I finally stood up for myself and my sister, and I protected us from further harm. And honestly, seeing Mom's perfect world crumble is quite satisfying, considering all the pain she has caused us over the years. So Reddit, AITAH for exposing my mom's past secrets and ruining her life after she tried to ruin my sister's wedding. What do you think? Update 1. Wow, I am amazed at how many of you shared similar experiences in the comments. I didn't expect this post to get so much attention. Thank you all for your support and validation. It's really helpful to know that I am not alone in dealing with a toxic parent. A lot of you are asking for updates, so here is what has happened since I posted. First, Melissa and Tyler are doing great. They are still happily married and enjoying their honeymoon phase. They are both incredibly grateful for the support they received from friends and family after the wedding drama. They have completely cut off contact with Mom, and they are much happier and more peaceful without her in their lives. Melissa told me that she feels like a weight has been lifted off her shoulders. She no longer has to constantly worry about pleasing mom or dealing with her negativity. As for mom, things have continued to deteriorate for her. She has lost even more friends and social connections. Her business is struggling, and she is facing some serious financial difficulties. She has tried to reach out to Melissa and me multiple times, but we have both ignored her calls and messages. She even showed up at Melissa's house unannounced, begging to be let in. But Melissa refused to open the door and called the police. Mom was given a warning for harassment and told to stay away. It's sad to see her life falling apart, but at the same time, I feel like she is finally facing the consequences of her actions. She has been manipulative and selfish for so long, and now she is reaping what she sowed. Some of you asked if I feel guilty about exposing mom's past. To be honest, sometimes I do. She is still my mother after all. And I know that what I did was pretty drastic. But then I remember all the pain and suffering she has caused Melissa and me over the years, and the guilt fades away. She gave me no choice. She pushed me to the limit, and I had to protect myself and my sister. I also want to clarify something that some of you mentioned in the comments. Some of you think that my revenge was too extreme, and that I should have tried to talk to mom and work things out with her. I understand that perspective, but you have to understand that talking to mom is like talking to a brick wall. She is completely incapable of taking responsibility for her actions or admitting that she is wrong. She always plays the victim and blames everyone else for her problems. I have tried to talk to her countless times in the past, but it never goes anywhere. She just twists everything around and makes me feel like I am the one who is wrong. So, talking to her was not an option. And honestly, I don't think she would have ever changed her behavior unless she faced some serious consequences. This was the only way to make her realize that her actions have repercussions. I know some people will still judge me for what I did, and that's okay. I can imagine the reactions I'm about to get, but I am not looking for everyone's approval. I just wanted to share my story and get some perspective from Reddit, and I am grateful for all the comments and advice I have received. It has helped me to process everything and feel more confident in my decisions. I will keep you updated if anything else significant happens. Thanks again for all your support. Update 2. Another update for those who are following this story. Things have taken an unexpected turn. Mom has reached out to Melissa again, but this time it's not to beg or plead. She is threatening to sue Melissa and Tyler. Apparently, Mom is claiming that Melissa and Tyler are responsible for her financial problems and emotional distress. She is saying that their actions and my actions have caused her to lose her business and her social standing, and she is demanding compensation. This is absolutely ridiculous and outrageous. Mom is the one who sabotaged Melissa's wedding and caused all the drama in the first place. And now she is trying to play the victim and sue us. It's unbelievable. Melissa and Tyler are obviously very stressed and worried about this. They have consulted with a lawyer, and he said that Mom's lawsuit is likely frivolous and has no legal basis. But still, it's going to be a hassle and a financial burden to deal with it. We are all just so frustrated and angry. It's like Mom is determined to make our lives miserable, even after everything that has happened. I'm especially angry because I feel responsible for this. If I hadn't exposed Mom's past, she wouldn't be in this situation, and she wouldn't be trying to sue Melissa and Tyler. But then I remind myself that Mom brought this upon herself. She was the one who started all this drama, and she is the one who is refusing to take responsibility for her actions. I'm not going to let her intimidate us or bully us. We are going to fight back and defend ourselves against her baseless lawsuit. Our lawyer is confident that we will win, but it's still going to be a long and stressful process. I will keep you updated on how the lawsuit progresses. In the meantime, Melissa and Tyler are trying to stay positive and focus on their marriage. They are planning a belated honeymoon trip to take their minds off things. I am trying to be supportive and helpful as much as I can. This whole situation is just so exhausting and frustrating. It feels like Mom is never going to let us have peace, but we are not going to give up. We are going to stand together and fight back against her. Thank you again for all your support and encouragement. It really means a lot to us. I will let you know what happens with the lawsuit. Update 3. Good news, Reddit. There has been a major development in the lawsuit situation. Mom has dropped the lawsuit against Melissa and Tyler. Yes, you read that right. She has completely withdrawn her legal action. Apparently, her lawyer advised her that her case was weak and that she was likely to lose in court. He also warned her that pursuing the lawsuit could further damage her reputation and financial situation. It seems like even Mom, in her delusional state, finally realized that she was fighting a losing battle. Melissa and Tyler and I are all incredibly relieved and happy. This lawsuit has been hanging over our heads for weeks, causing us a lot of stress and anxiety. Now, it's finally over, and we can breathe a sigh of relief. We celebrated the good news with a nice dinner together. Melissa and Tyler are planning to go ahead with their honeymoon trip next month, and I am just happy to see them finally able to move on from all this drama. As for Mom, I haven't heard anything from her directly, but I have heard through mutual acquaintances that she is still not doing well. She is still isolated and struggling financially. Apparently, she is blaming her lawyer for advising her to drop the lawsuit, saying that he is incompetent and that she would have won if she had a better lawyer. She is still in denial and refusing to take responsibility for her actions. But honestly, at this point, I don't really care what she thinks or does. I'm just glad that she is finally leaving us alone. I think this is the end of this chapter of our lives. We have finally managed to break free from Mom's toxic influence and create our own happy and peaceful lives. I want to thank all of you again for your support and advice throughout this whole ordeal. Your comments and messages have been incredibly helpful and encouraging. It's amazing how much support you can find from strangers on the internet. I am truly grateful to this Reddit community. I think I will continue to update you if anything else significant happens with Mom, but hopefully, this is the last update for a while. Thank you again for everything, Reddit. Update 4. Okay, Reddit, one final update, and this is a surprisingly positive one. It seems like Mom might actually be starting to change. I know I am as surprised as you are. After months of no contact, I received a letter from Mom in the mail. I was hesitant to open it, expecting another angry or manipulative message, but curiosity got the better of me. I opened the letter, and to my surprise, it was an apology, a genuine, heartfelt apology. Mom wrote about how she had been reflecting on her behavior and realizing how much pain she had caused Melissa and me. She admitted that she had been wrong in trying to sabotage Melissa's wedding and in being so controlling and negative. She said she understood why we had cut her off, and she didn't blame us for it. She also acknowledged that her actions had led to the consequences she was now facing, and she took responsibility for them. She didn't ask for forgiveness or reconciliation. She just wanted to apologize and let us know that she was starting to understand the error of her ways. I was honestly stunned. I had never expected Mom to ever apologize, especially not in such a sincere and humble way. I showed the letter to Melissa and Tyler, and they were equally surprised. Melissa was actually moved to tears. She said maybe, just maybe, Mom is finally starting to see the light. We are still cautious and hesitant to fully trust Mom. After everything she has done, it's hard to just forget and forgive. But we are also willing to give her a small chance, to prove that she has truly changed. We decided to respond to her letter, acknowledging her apology and suggesting that we could meet for coffee sometime to talk. We haven't heard back from her yet, but we are hopeful. Maybe, just maybe, this could be the beginning of a long and slow process of reconciliation. I know it's a long shot, and things might not work out. Mom might revert back to her old ways. But for now, I am choosing to be cautiously optimistic. It would be amazing if we could eventually have a healthy and positive relationship with Mom again. It would be the best possible outcome to this whole messy situation. I will keep you updated if anything further develops with Mom. But for now, I just wanted to share this surprising and hopeful update. Thank you again for all your support and encouragement. It's been a long and difficult journey, but it seems like we might finally be heading towards a positive resolution. Fingers crossed. And Reddit, thanks for listening to my story. What do you think about this unexpected turn of events? Am I naive to even consider giving her another chance? Let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.